Weirdo. Good evening, all of you. Wow, there are so many people already. We kind of ate up some of the Instagram time for this, for today's community event. So we're spending 25 minutes here. If there's anybody that has anything short they'd like to share or communicate about, feel free to send me an invite and I will add you as a co-host, or say so in the comments and I will invite you. Okay, or I'll try. I just came from an event on YouTube. Again, we hold twice weekly community events, which are essentially alignment opportunities, journaling opportunities. And we fine-tune that process over there. So, hello. And I'm just going to kind of noodle around until somebody offers. Or I see somebody I want to call out. I taught myself piano, somebody asked. I hear you dreaming, Insomniac, but let's see if anybody new wants to do it. I'm Justice. I see you. I do see you. We'll give it a second. Oh, my voice is shot right now. I've done more talking and feeling than is comfortable for the last couple of days. This is exactly as much as my voice is, and this is me after warming up. So I'm like stretching and all that. So. Kingdom Hearts vibes right there. I do see you, Justice. I would love for you to be up here, but I am just giving space, holding space for new people. Make sure that we get some new energy in here if it would like to be here. But feel free to... We'll talk about it. I see that you're going through it. We'll talk about it. I know. You just went through a lot. Many of us did. And no, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not worth it. Kingdom Hearts 3 is so annoying. Maybe its lore is fine, but But I was thoroughly displeased with it. I didn't think it was challenging enough. I didn't think that it was... I don't think it respected me as a child who invested decades of their youth into that product. Much happiness into that product. I felt like, I was like, wait, why the fuck did I wait so long? It's kind of like the way Tears of the Kingdom felt. Unfinished. And I already spotted that shit from the trailer. Right now I'm playing Nine Souls and Animal Well and I don't know, video games kind of bore me now. All of them. We have a few minutes left. Does anybody want to come up here? How many of you guys were witnesses to what happened this week? Just wondering. Because I'm pretty tired. Yeah, that's it. That was a pattern. Oh yeah, Steph, that's exactly what I already did. That was the joke. The joke is that everybody came at me with the family card, like, oh my God, you need to, what did you do? No, I'm not family. Some people could choose it, but I already disowned everybody a long time ago, and then I said it this week, officially out loud for all y'all. And you know, for the journal, but that was already done. I don't care. My brother doesn't treat me like that. So, my mother doesn't treat me like that. So, my father doesn't treat me like that. So, all these other imposters out here are going to have to scoot. That's just a fact. And so, I thought it was funny that Draven came in with "You're the worst brother I've ever fucking had." My favorite part of being your brother was watching our father beat you up because you're a fucking full of yourself jerk who's also stupid. And my worst memory ever is when your mom showed up. Was pretty like, whoa. Hey, I'm the one who said, hey, do I have a dad? If it weren't for me, we wouldn't even be on the same doorstep. In the same way, if it weren't for me, we wouldn't have actually made reconnections last year. And, yeah. I found the recording I initially sent Sam when she wouldn't respond to me, and I decided I was just going to apologize to Draven directly through social media. And then I was going to do it without her. But I would like her acknowledgement and her help. And she's done a thorough job of not doing what she said she was going to do. That's it. I thought it was funny that he came in with the brother card, because I was like, you don't even know. You don't even know. His name is Buttface. I like all these people too. There are some people out there who are like pushing the envelope on what they're allowed to say to me right now, because other people are saying it and getting away with it. They're like, Chester didn't even like you. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Wait, where did you get that? Because when he died, literally the people around us, everybody, were like, your dad loved you so much, and I know he would want you to know that. I know he didn't get to say it as much as he wanted to. I wonder why. You should have seen the look on some of the band members' faces for Linkin Park when they were at the house, and I was just like, shut up, stop telling me my dad loved me. If he wanted to say that so bad, he should have been here in person, and he wasn't. So, who the hell are you? You don't even know. Oh wait, I said the same thing to Draven the other day. But yeah, it's been a lot, of course. Yeah, it took a second after I got that text from Draven out of nowhere. I was like, again, people are still on the you look like Chester train. I don't even care. I'm a Bennington because I said so. And that's it. I don't give a fuck. That's it on that. Nobody wants to come up here? There's 10 minutes left. Anybody new? This is a great chance to share any art, any grievances, like literally anything. And then because we're only doing like less than half of the normal time we would do, I'm not going to let people who have been on this time. I'm going to keep the door open for the entire time. I think that it's funny how people keep determining who I am for me. Like, Samantha's allowed to say and do the things she does. Sean is allowed to do and say the things that he says and does. And it's like, I know I say, hey, don't do that. Like, don't go, when I say something, don't go and say anything to anybody. But it's interesting how often these people are just like allowed to go do whatever they want. They're like totally, they're like, you know, they have this like, oh no, people don't care, you know. I literally talked to Cristin Davis today, the guitar player for GREY DAZE, and I'll talk more about what we talked about eventually, but he said that he doesn't see anything wrong with the way Sean responded to me. Cristin said he was chill with it. He's like, yeah, I didn't know anything about it, but even though I don't know, or even though I now know. And I was like, you could have said anything else, but you didn't even try. That's so crazy. But he doesn't care. He actually admitted to me that him and Sean both forget that they're using the band official band handle. They think it's their own social media, and so they'll go talk to people thinking that it's just them, but they're actually as the band. But it happens frequently, so it's whatever. And that they took down the messages that they sent to me on the post. He acknowledged it 100%. He said that they asked for those posts to be taken down. So GREY DAZE does talk shit to fans. They do get confused and think that they're talking through their own personal accounts, and they think that's totally fine, and they delete whatever it is that they don't want people to see. That's literally what he confirmed it for me today, which is insane. The one other thing I'll talk about is how Cristin told me that he has zero plans to stop being in GREY DAZE. I said, when do you guys plan on stopping? And he said, probably never. It's a solid source of income, so that's not going to happen. I was like, damn, you're ruthless, bro. Both you and Sean, ruthless. That's pretty crazy, right? Like, the guitar player for GREY DAZE just admitted that they use the actual official handle to tell off people and then delete the comments so that nobody knows they did it because they did it on accident because they didn't know they weren't using their personal account. And that the way that Sean acts is totally okay. And he's fine with it. And he's never going to stop working for GREY DAZE because it pays his bills and he likes it. It's a good career. He's, quote, honoring the integrity of Chester's legacy. Please give me a fucking break. Anyways. And that's more than I've said all day, by the way. And the YouTube side of things, I didn't really talk about anything. But I am dropping a little drip. Because, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. It just, it just like bothered me that they do get away with so much, just like people in general. Like nobody's like I'm literally out here like, hey, don't harass people. And Draven and Samantha didn't even try that once. They didn't even try to say that once. Like nobody's out there saying don't bother Jamie. Nobody's out there actually acknowledging me at all, really. They're just constantly breaking me down and telling me I'm not about X, Y, and Z, or I'm not welcome X, Y, and Z, or whatever. It's weird. It's weird that people spend so much time telling me that I'm stupid, volatile, unstable, that I'm a predator, and all these other things. It's like, whoa, it's crazy. Like, people are allowed to talk about me like that. Like, I have grounds to potentially, take legal actions, but, like, they're literally allowed to talk to me like this. And also, I've seen Sean's response to Mace, and we're going to get into it. Trust me, we're getting into it. But like, it's wild, man. It's crazy to me that I still haven't broken the news. Like, how many times do people get thrown on the news for the things that I'm literally going through right now, and I've been going through for a year and stimulating myself, and it's like, why is it that we see anything on the news is a good question. Maybe that's the discussion we'll have before I jump off. Because, yeah. Isn't it crazy that these people are allowed, like, people are literally allowed to do anything? It makes you wonder what's on the news. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Not only have I reopened the investigation, but I've gone through everything that I've gone through up here. Get out of here. I've gone through everything that I've gone through on here and in private. And I'm now being accused the way I'm being accused. And yet, there seems to be a very specific bubble that I am in. And I've always known about it, and I know there are layers to it that have been here, but I know there are layers to it that are not being talked about because they're hidden. They're secret. And it's just interesting that none of, apparently, other than me saying so, what I say doesn't matter. Which goes to show you a lot, everybody, about, what it truly means to be yourself and to pay for that shit with your actual energy. So, I'll serve as a parable, why not? Yeah. I don't really want to be on the news, and I know everybody here cares. I just think it's interesting that everybody made such a big deal about this, and now it's like everybody's acting still like I don't exist. There are still many people acting like I don't exist. I mean, Sean gave Mace more of an acknowledgement than he ever gave me. That's so interesting. And I'm not saying like, I should be acknowledged over Mace. I'm not saying that we should even be compared. What Mace is going through is extremely serious and very awful. Like it's very sad and very not cool. And I'll have something to say about it from an outsider's perspective because I am my own reality TV and I am my own news apparently. But yeah. Yeah, I like the part in Sean's letter, and I'll leave it at this because I think the timer's about up. Okay, so the thing that I thought many parts of Sean Dowdell's address to Mace and also Cristin's own response to Mace, I thought they were both pretty awful. Cristin just flat out gaslit Mace on every single element of what he was talking about. He didn't even say any of it was true. He said all of it was false, in my opinion. That's what I heard. Sean is no better. I mean, Sean literally victim blames Mace for being disabled, which is insane. Also, he makes a lot of weird money references, he'll say that, Mace owed me X, Y, and Z, and then, we sent him all of his money, but there's a weird acknowledgement that Sean has of Mace's patterns in using money and being stuck up in certain things. Not stuck up, but stuck in certain things, certain patterns. And it's odd to me that Sean would even loan something like that to his friend just to use it against him. Did Sean acknowledge anything that happened to Mace or anything Mace said really? No, not really. I mean, Mace said, and I didn't see this covered at all in the public address, that the two of them made, Cristin and Sean, that Mace claimed Terry had work-related injuries and that she had been working with GREY DAZE, like on tour at some point. I didn't see any of that being acknowledged. I just saw Sean say a bunch of crazy stuff about Mace's cycles and also the way he seems to use them against Mace. That's what I saw. And I'll talk about that, but not today. What I wanted to talk about that, address in specific, was that Sean says something, he phrases it in such a weird way. If you go read it on Facebook, he says that, Zoom calls are reserved for band business. They Zoom with Chris because he lives in LA, who's the singer for GREY DAZE right now. And that they held a Zoom meeting about Mace. They said, says that they used the Zoom to have band calls. They had a band call where the band was involved while Mace was away. And that they basically presented him with an executive order. That everybody got together and basically talked about how he wasn't, like the way Sean says it, it sounds like he's saying that Mace outlived his usefulness. They were like, oh yeah, he's basically too disabled to be doing his job, which is crazy to think that like Mace literally lost his like life partner in his own home after he had to go beg Sean for money. Sorry, take out another loan with Sean Dowdell. I think there are a lot of things to be said about that, but like for Sean to phrase it like Mace was a part of the conversation is really interesting, because really, if you look at his language, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. He broke it up with the beginning of the next paragraph is the last sentence of the paragraph, and the first sentence of the paragraph is the last sentence of the paragraph before the paragraph. You know what I mean? Like it shifted just a little bit. He does this with his writing. We all know that. That's what I was saying about his book, with him changing Chester's words and using them to sell his book by slapping it on the cover and changing, he changed the sentiment, he slapped it on the cover and he said, look, Chester said this, and Chester did not say that. And if you look at it and you separate those things and you follow the actual linear line of thought, it's like, oh, he's saying that the band got together, made an executive decision, presented it to Mace, and offered like a meager stipend. And then Mace flipped out because he was like, wait, that's crazy, And I might be wrong, and maybe they're saying it wrong, but that's what I read. And I thought that was crazy that not only Sean would villainize Mace for being disabled and like make fun of him for it. I felt that's what was going on. And I'm not just saying that for clicks. I'm saying that because I read the article. I read what he wrote. And then for that to be one thing he's, doing, and then the other thing to be, saying that they made an executive decision without him and just basically gave it to him and said, you need to go. And that Mace shouldn't have been upset with it, because there's nothing in there that says that Mace was part of the decision-making process. There's nothing in there. And then they didn't bring up Terry, which is something that Mace brought up. And Sean saying that it was so bad. Okay, so think about this. Sean saying that Mace is kind of unhinged, right? He's saying like, oh, Mace is he freaked out before we could even clarify, and he's not been able to be reached since. And it's like, wait, no, you got to realize something. Mace feels so seriously that what happened was what happened, that he refuses to speak to them anymore to be swayed by what they're saying. That's what I took out of it. I might be wrong, but that's what I took out of it. So that was a very interesting observation to make. I mean, I would be pissed if I were Mace too, if, I got into that accident and I was recovering, and then my partner, who, was going through a lot, and so was Mace, of course. You know, died in his home while he was away. And then they didn't, like, none of the band went to go see him or be there for him at all through his recovery process or through this processing of death, of loss, of life. I don't know, like, and then you have Cristin over here who's like, yeah, hey everybody, just so you know, everything Mace said is wrong, and he's like totally confused, and like that's not what happened, and we all love him and everything, so like, you know, that's really on him. It just kind of feels super weird. Like I said, I'll go over the actual articles at a different time, but that's just what it is. So that's what I'll say about anything today. It's just that Cristin said some interesting things to me, and I'll be covering that because, of course I will. And what Sean said about Mace and what Cristin said about Mace are just fucking terrible. And but the guy did what he did to me in public, you know. He said what he said, avoided me for a year and 3 months, and then blew up on Instagram thinking that it was his own. What a fucking tool. I'm not going to look at you. I'm going to post things about being nice to people, and then I'm going to ignore you for a year and 3 months while I profit off of your dead father. And then when I do something so awful to someone again that they decide to leave and say something, I'm going to gaslight them and not even address you. Because you're not even worth my time. Okay, Sean. And Sean is such a tool. I'm sorry, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? How could you be how you are? Like, literally. I love how Mace was like, yeah, you know, but Sean's such a dick. Like, he's cheated on his wife so much his kids left the business. Like, oh, what? That was a bit of lore that we did not get ever. And I think that should be their thing to talk about. For sure, I don't think that that's the way to say it on Mace's side. I think that I understand where he's coming from, but I don't think that was the way to say it. But still, like, really, Sean? That's it. I'm giggling about it because what the fuck? You're like the worst. Literally, you did what you did in March, and then you added like 6 shows to your tour immediately out of spite, and then you divorced Thora. And then I say something about you and you say absolutely nothing and duck it for like a year and 3 months. And then I finally get you by calling you a fucking sellout. And the way I get you is so startling that you actually use the official band handle instead of your own Instagram because you're so fucking into it that you don't even know it's your Instagram. Or it's not yours. There you go. And then you don't say anything. You just delete the posts. You fucking twat. And then and then Mace comes out and he's like, yo guys, it's like really bad over here. And Sean comes out like, you're a fucking liar, you fucking stupid jerk, and you're not invited to our band anymore because you're disabled. And then Cristin's over there like, hey guys, just so you know, Mace is totally wrong and don't look at him. And Mace is over there being like, Sean, you literally cheated on your wife like countless times, and your kids hate you, which is so brutal. And it's like, fuck. That's it. Just a capital F-U-C-K. Or you know, Kendrick is just damn. You know, fuck. I mean, Sean literally used the GREY DAZE official handle to tell me that I was an insane drug addict who gets myself into stupid fucking problems because I don't fucking shut up and I run my mouth all the time and I don't keep my focus where it belongs, and that I've done nothing with my life. And then he came over on his personal account because he realized that he was on the GREY DAZE official account, and then he fucking thrashed me again. And then he blocked me. He blocked me, and then he went onto the band account, which, Cristin said the entire band asked for it to be removed. So it was another group executive function that was performed to have their comments against me and potentially even my own comment erased from the Julian K promo. Hilarious. Get back on that Mandel kick. Ricardo Testa would be pretty fucking pissy about your man right there, because that's not very manly now, is that, you guys? You guys aren't being good stand-up men. You guys are being terrible overlords. And it's hilarious. Again, this is all my opinion and my perspective. None of this is concrete. It's just how I feel. Okay? So I didn't just say anything just now. I just said anything because that's just how I feel and what's on my mind, and it's my opinion. All right, guys. No, I don't speak to church. I'll answer that question. I don't speak to church. I tried to speak to church for years. In fact, right before I came back online, I was talking to, sending him messages and phone calls, every month or two, just to get him to answer. It's kind of like when I called Toby the other day and I had to spam call her because it's like ringing the fucking doorbell because she doesn't answer ever. Church disappeared, and then he refuses to answer the phone. I let him know I was going public. I let him know that I wanted to, have a relationship with him. I wanted to know what he remembered of my father. I wanted to know what was going on. No response. And then he has that burger truck on my burger church, which I was one of the people who liked the Julian K and GREY DAZE team up promo, which is the thing I commented on that got Sean all fucking... That's my impression of you, Sean. Because you literally spazzed out. What the fuck? Anyways. And again, I think it's fucking amazing that they haven't been shut down purely on interaction basis. I'm Chester's son. I'm his oldest son. And that's crazy that, Sean Dowdell could do that, not catch really any flack for it, continue on about his life again, and make no attempt to make a public statement or anything. And that people would still support his music and still go to his shows. On the basis of being a decent human being. You'd think he would do a couple things different. So church is just churching. I don't know what his problem is. He likes Sean, and he likes Ryan, and he likes Sam and Draven, but he's not here for me. That's it. So I'm out of here. I answered your question. This is a great pop-up. I guess I'll see you guys on Tuesday. And thanks to all those who took the time to participate in my expression over the last couple of days, because I've been having one fuck of a time. And that's it. You are appreciated. And don't forget to hold me accountable, and don't forget to take the allegation against me seriously. Please. Don't say yes and I will and then not do it. I may be human and I may be trusted on some level, but everything's on the table until it isn't. So don't you let that slip by. that my family has accused me of what they've accused me of. And at the same time, they haven't. This is so fun. This liminal space I'm constantly entrapped in. But and now a surfer of the wave. I'm not really trapped. I kind of just, you know what I'm saying? Okay, guys. Have a good night. And rest. Everybody rest. We went from one really special event to another, and I'm talking about planets now. And so take some time to chill. Take a nap. All right. Peace be with you. Bye.